The emotional impact of alcohol use, for me, it was massive because I've just put a poll on there. Do you think most alcoholics are quite shy, quite introverted? I was when I was young. And I think that the alcohol was my drug of choice because it allowed me to be myself. And it changed me as a person. It was just for a brief few hours when I was a teenager. I thought, wow, I'm in with the in crowd. And that's what a lot of us think, I think. But emotionally, over time, it's quite disturbing how it affects us. And when I was 21, I joined the police and I became, much stronger. I had to be strong in that game. And, when you turn an adult, you tend to lose your chance a bit. And I still was a bit self-conscious. Maybe it's a better word, really, or a better expression. And all that goes whenever I drink. It takes away the social anxiety, doesn't it? I'm just trying to think back how it affected me. I felt a lot better when I had a drink. Not a lot better physically, but just, I'm one of the lads. I'm one of the running crew. I think that happens to a lot of people. Some people just drinking indoors, because they're total introverts anyway. I think I was a bit shy, but it really brought me to the forefront of my game in work and everything, And I think that was one of the reasons I used to use it. I felt a bit down because it used to bring me up again, give me more energy. It seemed to anyway initially, the first few hours, and then it would be bang, crash, wall, and down at the bottom again. But I became extremely emotional. I'm still emotional now, years later. When animals are hurt, or I cry at music and things. My partner often says, "What's wrong with you?" I think, "Oh, nothing, just I heard a bit of music which took me back to the past." I tend to feel a bit of a soft lad, really, in some ways, even though I had a tough job at work. It's weird how it affected my emotions. I don't know if I would have been any different if I hadn't drunk, but I've noticed a lot of people who are alcoholics are very kind, caring people. But we become selfish with the alcohol because the alcohol takes over and controls you. So all of these people I used to help in the past, I couldn't help when I was going through my active addiction because I was incapable of doing it. Physically incapable. I needed a drink for every occasion. Now I'm sober, I'm helping thousands of people. My family benefit, my friends benefit, I benefit because I like helping people. That's what I'm good at. It's what I enjoy. But when I was drinking too much, I felt very detached from that. And when I split with my wife, my daughter was staying with her most of the time, I felt terrible I couldn't go and pick her up. I'd been drinking, I couldn't take her out to the events she wanted to go to because I was drinking. And I was an emotional wreck. I don't know if anybody else has had the same sort of feelings. There's a couple of times when I heard my daughter crying at the end of the phone and, "Dad, can you come pick me up?" And I couldn't get there, and I couldn't even make it in a taxi. I was so physically weak, all these sort of things. It broke me down. I speak to quite a few people day to day, just who I know locally, and they're all very similar people. That's why I often see drinkers alone, especially the guys who are in there about 10, 11 in the morning. They're all similar age, similar backgrounds, pretending to read a newspaper, looking for some sort of hope, looking for some company because their partners have left them, or they've got issues, or they've had financial problems, but emotionally they're really, really weak. And getting sober again is not going to change your personality, but it will make you stronger. Make you a lot stronger emotionally. But I've still got that side of me. I can control it better. I don't feel the guilt and the shame that I did when I was drinking. I felt very guilty that I'd maybe let my daughter down, let my parents down. And every time I got a negative comment, it used to bring me crashing down. I don't know if you feel the same. Somebody says something to you, "Oh, you're looking a bit overweight, you're looking a bit pasty, you're looking a bit this, you're looking a bit that." I now can bat it off, but it's still a niggle there in my mind, But when I was in active addiction, every little comment that was negative, I used to take to heart. And this is all made worse by alcohol, to the point where I became very subservient to people. I wasn't, kingpin anymore. I felt like, wow, the drinks control me to such a level. I've got to ask for help for things. You lose your independence. You become physically ill. And then you've got this full-time job of trying to hide the alcohol, trying to get the alcohol into you before you go anywhere or before you meet anybody. And most people know you're a drinker. But when you get to that stage, I'll call it stage 3, when you drink too much, you know you're doing some harm to yourself. You go along begging to the doctor instead of saying to the doctor, I need help, can you give me some help? You need to be strong to get off this alcohol. And your emotions control your life. And I've noticed there's not many really strong people who are alcoholics, unless it just brings them to that. But a lot of people who start out, the guys I know who got into trouble with alcohol, are pretty, I would put it in the category of good guys. I'm not saying we're all good, but what I'm trying to say is I think a lot of people start off as introverts, quite shy, maybe not particularly good social mixers. They get the drinking down them and it starts the ball rolling. Right, I'm going to be like Big John. I want to talk to the girls. I want to do this. I want to go to that. Do that. I want to get a motorbike. I want to join a band. One of the boys, or one of the girls, whatever the case may be. And then you use that. It's habit forming. Every time something happens, every time you want to go somewhere, you might feel a bit nervous about getting on a plane, for instance, or have a drink. I'll be all right. Nervous about going to some sort of meeting, some sort of social event, a football match where it's loud, lots of people there. Have a drink before. I feel all right now. That sort of thing. I think that happens a lot. Because you're not strong to start with. You think the alcohol is going to make you feel better. It does initially, isn't it? And then you're in the match and you're giving it all that and you're having a good time. The next day, feeling like rough again, so you start again. I want to be back on top again. You don't want to be back down to where you were when you were younger, which was shy and introvert again, because you've got this image now, haven't you? Big, strong Steve, he'll be all right. Get a few drinks down you, you're okay, once in the boozer, all right lads, all this sort of thing. It all comes down to that. And you've got to keep your emotions in check. And if you find you're starting to slip into this, where you're feeling a bit down, a bit guilty about this, that and the other, you become, you're an overthinker as well. That causes issues. Your mind's working all the time. And it really is hard work to try and keep it in check and try and keep the alcohol at bay, if that makes sense. That's why if you're a problem drinker, you really have to stop for life, stop for good, because you cannot be a social drinker if you're a problem drinker. And when you do stop for life, there's so many benefits. Your emotions are easier to control. You may still feel sad. We always feel sad about things. Life isn't sweet, is it, all the time? In fact, sometimes it's just rotten for a while before it gets any better. But it's a hell of a lot easier to deal with when you're sober than when you're drinking, because when you're drinking, it makes you weak, doesn't it? It makes everything weak. It really affected my brain. I became a shadow of my former self over the years, from being, reasonable to being -10. I was never super confident, but it just used to take everything from me. I became totally weak, and I probably got a bit ripped off by people in certain ways, And when you're like that, when you're a drinker and you can't stand up for yourself, people take advantage of you. You maybe get bullied, and not in the bullying sense of way at school. You get pushed around a little bit emotionally, I think, as well. People tell you, oh, he'll be there, he'll do that because he's a bit weak. You've got to watch that. It's a big problem. Because when you get these negative comments from people, even in families, so can't rely on you anymore, you can't pick us up and all this sort of thing. And you take that to heart, it can break you down. And you shouldn't let it break you down. You've got to stand strong for yourself. And be yourself, and then be the man or woman that you want to be, and work towards that. Because the longer you keep on drinking, the worse it'll get. And the sooner you get sober, the better. Because you need your life back. You need your strength back in here. That's where it comes from, all in here. Once you've got over that initial stopping phase, which can be dangerous if you're dependent, that's why you need to get some medical help with that, then you've got to be strong. And I do a one-to-one support system. I'll leave the link in the description. Get in touch, just WhatsApp me, I'll get in touch with you and we'll discuss something, because I didn't have any support, and it's very hard to do this alone. Very, very difficult. Because I know how you feel. Doctors are great, they'll prescribe you things, they'll save my life. But alcoholics know how alcoholics feel. I suppose, I mean, AA didn't suit me, but AA is a support network, isn't it? The more support you've got, the better, really. There are other places you can look. There are other people doing the same thing as me. Look around, find somebody who can help you, give you some guidance. I mean, this channel's got over 11,000 subscribers now. We're all the same. We're all here to help each other. We've all been in a mess at some point. People wouldn't be watching if they didn't have an issue or are interested in anyway. So anyway, if you've got any comments, then leave me, drop me a line. Anything you want to talk about, let me know. But watch out for your emotions. If you want to get sober, get in touch with me. And for goodness sake, there is a better life out there. There is a future. That might sound a bit down sometimes. I'm not down. I'm just trying to get the message across. There is a way out. And there's a lot of factors to alcohol. And when you start cracking a few and, winning the battle, life's sweet again. Speak to you soon.